Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Brotherz Outdoorz Weekly News Update. I'm your host, Chris Atkins, and I am glad to see you this evening. Happy Thursday, guys. We are ready to get this thing going. And, you know, in typical Brotherz Outdoorz fashion, we go straight to our interview first. And today we have a great guy, a man that I've been knowing many years through my childhood and everything. Just phenomenal man. I'm glad that you're going to get to meet him. And everybody, please welcome Judge Tarik Sugarmon. How you doing, Judge?
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, Chris, and hello to your viewers and listeners and your fans.
That's awesome. I can't wait to get into some of those stories, but I have to start at the beginning. How did you first start hunting? Oh, wow.
Can't hear him, babe.
Years ago in the 70s, and then started shooting it, and eventually worked up to rifles. And then I said, you know, I need to really take my skills into the field. And the first stands I started hunting on. Can you hear me all right?
I'm working on it. They're saying that they can't hear you. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
I have my mic on this end.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you in my headphones. I'm just making sure everything is coming through loud and clear. Might check.
And so I started hunting in wooden setup stands, you know, on fields, edges of fields and woodlots. And actually, it took about 2 or 3 years before I killed my first deer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then, as you know, there was a camp that your father and Sidney Chisholm and J.O. Patterson, who was the bishop here with Kojic, introduced me to a Mississippi called Big Buck. And from that point on, it was on like a pot of neck bones, as they say.
Oh, wow. So what year do you think that was that you started hunting at Big Buck?
92 or 93, right in that period. It took about 2 years before I was able to get close enough to kill a deer with my bow. And the first one I killed was a buck. It was a small 6-point, which I had mounted. He wasn't too small to mount, but I killed my first buck with the archery down there.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, hunting a big buck. How long did you guys hunt there? And where was it in Mississippi?
It was in Vicksburg, Mississippi, down near Utica. For
Okay.
those that are familiar with the area,
Mhm.
it was property that was owned by Anderson Tully Lumber Company.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that worked in the lumber mill, they were part of the union, and Sidney Chisholm was the president of the union. They set up a camp for African American workers to hunt at, and I joined in 1992. They ran dogs, which it wasn't my favorite way of deer hunting,
Right.
but it indoctrinated me into the southern lifestyle of hunting. We had, and the thing about it, it was swampland.
Mm-hmm.
We had everything down there you wanted to hunt. When it flooded, you had ducks, we had raccoons, rabbits,
Yes.
possums, you name it. And of course, we had some really, really nice deer down.
Oh yeah.
And I had a little trailer down there. Your father had a trailer down there for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really a comfortable place, an environment. It's a good place to get away.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, what is the wildest thing that happened at Big Buck?
I don't know if you want to hear that. We had a Christmas party, and I had called a few friends that worked at an adult club in town. In any event, our president Sam was sweating bullets. They were just very, very nice people.
That is awesome.
In fact, it ended up being a banquet. We were cooking neck bones and ham hocks and all that, and it really was more of a party than anything else.
That's good.
Aside from that, I mean, cooking out. I took my boys down there after I pulled my own trailer down and built a deck on it, and they called it their humble redneck abode. And actually, they did more sleeping in than they did hunting.
Oh
I
wow.
fixed it up too nice. I had big screen, a big flat screen TV. I had cooktop. I had oven. I had refrigerator, and so they spent more time watching cartoons on the weekends than they did hunting. But it was a good wholesome environment.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people down there were either from the area or they were members. There were very few members. I think they had about 30 members altogether. For the most part, only about 10 or 15 of us really hunted that much.
That is awesome. So, like, I've heard my dad talk about how the game wardens would come ask y'all to kill deer and to manage to help them to feed prisoners and all that stuff.
Right.
What is the most deer that y'all ever harvested in one day down there?
Ooh, I know. One year, I was hunting down in Swamp Bottom, and it was in an area where your father actually had a ladder stand set up for a while. And there were so many other people going out because it was opening day, and I didn't want to be crowded around anybody. And nobody was actually going to that area. Your father, I can't remember where he was hunting. It wasn't very far. For whatever reason, I got out there early before daylight, and somebody had ridden through, leading out from the area, from the swamp, about 11 o'clock, and I was going to sit there till 1.
Mm-hmm.
I had a herd of about 15 deer come by me, and then there was no limit on does.
Oh wow.
I literally killed 9 does in one sitting. I shoot 3 and see on opening day, whatever was killed, you had to share with everybody that came out. It was usually the busiest day of the whole year
Right.
in terms of deer hunting. So of those 9 deer, we probably had 15 or 20 families to provide deer for.
That is
And
awesome.
everybody came out with their bags, and everybody had to come and clean meat. We had so many deer we were skinning that day. We didn't get a chance to hunt the evening because we spent all afternoon skinning deer. Yeah,
That's
that
good.
was the best single hunting day that I had.
That's good that you get to help so many families as well. You know, even to this
Yeah.
day, I have people that ask for deer meat and everything just, to get by. So that is awesome that you were doing that back then to help people.
Yeah, I've always been involved, and your father has with Hunters for the Hungry.
Yes.
And, it's always a staple. I had people who were on medical lists, and they could only eat venison or rabbit.
Oh, wow.
And I always made sure that I provided those persons with an appropriate amount of venison and rabbits.
That is awesome. So let me ask you. So when you were doing all this, when did you start going overseas to hunt and traveling to hunt? And what was your first hunting trip where you really packed for and planned and got everything going and went. What was that first one?
Well, you probably heard about it, and I know that's why you asked. It was with your father, J.O. Patterson, Joe Brown, Judge Joe Brown, and Sidney Chisholm. We were going to Saskatchewan. One time we were going up to Canada for a caribou hunt, and we were allowed to take 2 caribou. And I always try to argue when I go on these hunts. The guy who I had fell out laughing. You ride these boats and hop island to island, trying to catch a herd crossing, try to get on land and intercept the herd as they're migrating. I had gotten on this one island on the opposite side and worked around to the front, and the caribou was coming directly at me. When I stood up to draw, the guide was about 100 yards out in the water. And when I drew, my arrow fell off the rest. The caribou literally almost ran over. He came within about 5 yards of me. Now, when I jumped up, it scared him. It scared the heck out of me, too.
Wow.
Now, one other trip was bear hunting. We went to Saskatchewan, Canada for that. I flew up and I took my bow, and at that time I took one break action rifle. It was a single shot 35 round. I had a bow had a bear come up under my stand. It was getting dark. And it was the largest bear I've seen. In fact, it was the only bear I've seen up to that point, just about the end of our hunt. And I was able to kill that bear. Well, the whole week had been slow. Joe Brown was on that trip, the father was on that trip, and they were hunting with rifles. I got the bear, and when we had to fly out of this little plane called a Cub. When the other hunters asked how we had done, they said I'd killed the bear. He asked how I'd done it, and said I shot him with my bow. They made me ride back to the plane, which escaped me almost on the rest of the trip.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, see, that's why we started hunting. It's really not so much about the harvesting. It's about having that camaraderie, that brotherhood, getting out in nature, and doing things on your own. You know?
Absolutely.
As you know, hunting is not an easy endeavor.
No.
You have to put your time, you have to study and learn about the games you're hunting. And you build relationships that last for a lifetime. You know, your father and I can sit down and go for hours and hours and tell you hunting stories and never run out of stories. And most of them are pretty humorous.
Yes, I know. And speaking of pretty humorous, tell me about the wolf. Tell me about the wolf that you brought.
Tell me, BB,
Yes.
the wolf that I own.
Yes.
The one that he was a hybrid. He was a white hybrid. This dog was huge. And I had him tethered down at the Big Buck camp. Well, Bishop Patterson made the mistake of parking his 4-wheeler too close to my trailer, and when he came out the next morning, his seat on his 4-wheeler was completely gone. The wolf had eaten the whole seat off of the trailer.
Funny. That was actually
that dog, he was amazing. But he could track a deer now. But the problem is, once he got to the deer, he wouldn't let you take it. I mean, you really had to beat him off of the deer in order to get the recover your meat.
He was actually trying to eat it. And funny story, that 4-wheeler was actually my dad's.
Oh, okay. Well, J.O. was the one that parked it. So your dad still remember that story and told it on this last show?
He didn't tell it on his last show, but I remember that 4-wheeler, and I remember him trying to duct tape it back together when I was a kid. So
That's what I'm talking about. You know, we never. Oh, well, since your dad was telling stories on me, did he tell you about the time he forgot to unload his gun? He had missed a deer and he threw it in the truck. It discharged and blew his transmission out. He had his car towed back to Memphis, or his truck towed back to Memphis. Did he tell you that story?
He didn't tell me that one. Oh, so we just telling on each other tonight, as I see.
Yeah, we're not telling all, but we're telling some. And you know, we've had some great trips. I can tell you a story about Joe Brown. A lot of people know him from the Joe Brown television series, Judge Joe Brown.
Right.
We were hunting property in Chester County, Tennessee. It was a fenced-in property, but this particular lot was off the fenced-in area. I put Joe in the spot, and it was an L-shaped field. He could see deer coming in from the box stand that was there. I'd already hunted that, and I'd seen a bunch of bucks, but I just never got a shot. So I put him in the box stand, and I go to the climber at the far end, about 150 yards from him. I see deer coming along the creek bank next to me. Eventually, 20 minutes or so, worked itself into the field in the corner, and they had to have been within 100 to 75 yards from where Joe was sitting.
Oh, wow.
He didn't take his time. Sun started setting, more deer came out in the field, and then a nice buck entered, and I said, I know it's going to shoot now. Didn't shoot. It gets dark. I walk across this field, and I'm mad because I put him in the best spot.
Right.
I get within 15 feet. Hey, Joe. Didn't hear anything. All of a sudden, he was up in the top of the stand asleep. And let all these deer walk out. And I said, Joe, did you see anything? Nothing over here.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. I said, man, I can't believe this. So it was just a mess.
Well,
it was just a mess.
In his defense, some of the best sleep you can ever get in life is in the deer stand.
Is that after a big meal?
That is after a big meal or big breakfast or something.
That's what happened to Joe. He claimed in his defense that he had too big of a lunch.
Yeah.
And got up in the stand and fell asleep.
It happens to the best of us. But the thing is, you got to have the sensory to know that something is walking. I'm pretty good about that. I'm kind of dozing off, but I can still see what's going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's always to take a dozing nap, as long as you're listening.
Right.
And you have the wherewithal to wake up every, a few seconds and look around. And I can't say that I haven't fallen asleep in the stand.
Right.
I like to think that I didn't miss anything that I had an opportunity to harvest. But it's always, being in the woods it's God's country. And you really appreciate God's blessings.
Absolutely.
To us. I'm 64 years old. Every day I'm able to get up and go into the woods. I thank God for it.
Absolutely. Well, you can't.
Let me just say one thing. I don't know how much time we have. I want to make a comment about this buck that's in the background. This is a 9-point that I killed in 2004. I was on Shelby Drive, and there was a lease property that was leased by the chief of the police department, the police union at the time, Ray Maples. I was down there with a friend of mine, best friend of mine, Tim Sims, was a sergeant with the police department. He took me out, and we hunted a couple times, didn't see anything. It was a cold day in January, iced up, and I called him up early and I said, Tim, we need to get in this field before these deer start moving. No, it's too cold. I said, no. When the ice starts melting, these deer are looking to eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Went down there, and I killed this deer in that field. He and I went to a taxidermy class that spring, and we were going to learn how to mount our deer. And he was killed in a boating accident fishing down at October Lake. I never finished that taxidermy class, and the rack sat in my closet up until 2 years ago. I finally got another cape and had him mounted. But because I lost that good hunting buddy, I wasn't able to finish it. But this deer is in honor of Tim Sims, my friend.
Rest in peace, man. That is a beautiful story, and that is a beautiful buck back there. And
he's a 9-point. He net scored 159 3/4.
Beautiful deer. So we were talking about dozing off in the stand earlier. Tell us about the way you're hunting now, and I know you can't doze off like that.
No, I public land hunt, and up in Falls Creek Falls 2 years ago, I saw a man walking through the woods over in the area where I was hunting. And we stopped and had lunch and had a conversation. He had a saddle on, and he was saddle hunting. And so I asked about it. I inquired, and when I got back, I started doing some research. And last season, I went on. I used my saddle 3 times. And what you do, you can climb various ways. Of course, in public land, you cannot use spikes or anything. So you use steps, ladders.
Right.
I use locking steps with an aider to climb, and I climb up and tether to the tree, and you hook in what's called a bridge, and you have range 360 degrees around, so I can sit and hunt. And if a deer comes on my offside, I can spin back around the tree, or I can stand on my platform and draw and hunt. And I love it. It's quiet. It's lightweight, so on a public hunt, if I'm in an area and I don't see anything, I can come down at lunchtime, move, and it takes me about 15 minutes, and I'm up the tree hunting again from a tether. So it's tether hunting. And for those that are interested, you can go online. YouTube has all kinds of videos these days. You can look up tether hunting, and that's what I've been doing. And that's going to be my primary way. I'm going to Illinois this year.
Okay.
I'm also going to be doing a hunt in Falls Creek Falls in November, and I just tether hunt.
That's awesome. I don't know if I'm small enough yet to tether hunt.
Oh, you are. Yeah.
You
are. There was a gentleman that was 6'6". He was 340. I went to a meeting with some local tether hunters, and this guy, he's just as agile as he wants to be. He can get up at 340 in tether hunt.
Oh, wow.
And he's been doing it for 5 years. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know. Yeah. I've lost over 100 pounds, so I'm about it. I'm right about 250 now. So I've
Oh, you small, man.
man,
You trim.
I'm not Big Chris
You
anymore.
get down, you huh?
I'm not Big Chris anymore.
You catch. Yeah, yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You look good.
I appreciate it. You look good too. 64, man. That's a
So
blessing.
yeah, it is a blessing. And I told you before we started the conversation, I have two grandkids. I have a granddaughter that's a year old and a grandson that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid, he is as rough as he can be. Every time I go outside, he wants to do something outside. So he's been out with me when I'm going out to hang stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking in another 4 or 5 years, he'll be ready.
Yeah,
He'll be ready.
he'll be ready. What caliber
Yeah.
are you thinking about starting them off with? Or are you thinking about starting them off with archery?
I already have a 243
Mm-hmm.
that I had bought for my youngest son, Malik, and it's a break action. It's a youth gun, and so I'm starting with that. It also has a 410 barrel that you can put on it
Okay.
when he's going to go rabbit hunting with me. And then I've got a youth bow. I'm probably going to get another one though, because this is kind of old. I'm going to start with archery once he gets to around 12 or 13.
Yeah, that's good. So, looking back, how would you say hunting has impacted your life? I mean, you're a judge here in Memphis, and you've been a judge for, since
1998.
Since 1998, exactly. So,
Yeah, they do the math.
yeah. So how has hunting impacted your life? Looking back, and you can say, okay, hunting has molded me in this way where it can positively help me do this job and be an impact on so many people's lives.
Hunting is something that you never actually perfect. Those that play golf know how difficult golf is.
Mm-hmm.
You're always trying to refine your technique, your skills. I remember I'm trying to keep it brief, in 1996, I think it was, when we had a lease in Chester County, there was an old trailer up there. And I'd been through a bad relationship, and I just wanted to spend my time out in the woods. I'd go there on a Thursday, and I was in private practice at the time. I'd go on a Thursday, I might stay through the whole weekend, but I got into nature so that I was actually taking cedar and moss from the area that I was hunting in.
Mm-hmm.
That were most familiar to the deer in that area, and I would make my own cover scents.
Oh, wow.
Then I learned to dig a trench, and I covered myself in leaves and spray down with the cover scents.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point where there was a group of does coming to me. I was under the leaves. I was sitting with my back against the oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
When the deer passed by me, I was actually able to smack the deer on the butt. There's no hand guy on the butt as it passed by me, and I got into it that much. It is something that tests your skills in terms of changing and adapting to your environment. You learn how to protect yourself from the, like if you're out and you have a thunderstorm come by, you learn how to use the environment to protect yourself, get shelter. And then, in terms of how it's helped me, it is the closest thing to nature. I remember after Tim died, I went out that fall and I spoke at his funeral. I talked about how nature heals your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the audience there, I said, listen, when you're sitting out there, those of you who fish, when you cast that line across the water, you see it lie on the calmness of the lake. When you go out on your on a fresh winter day and the ground is sparkling with ice, as the moon is glistening across it, when you sit in that tree and you feel that cold breeze blowing at your back, you think of Tim. That's him sitting with you.
Mm-hmm.
And take it is as close to God as you can be.
Absolutely.
I spend more of my reflective time in the woods, and golf I took to get me through my hunting season.
Right, and so hunting season coming up. Hunting season is coming up. So, what are your plans for this hunting season? What are your hunting goals? And are you hunting at any CWD areas in Tennessee this year?
I am. For those that don't know, we're in West Tennessee and several of the West Tennessee counties. Shelby County, which we're in, Madison County, Hardin County, Fayette County. There's a couple of others. We have a CWD program. The Tennessee Wildlife Association has extended the season. Last year, they extended it in, I think it was 4 seasons, so our season ran instead of ending in January, early January, it went all the way through March.
Mm-hmm.
And I intend the beginning of the season to just start archery hunting. You told me earlier that archery season, I hadn't checked the schedule.
Yes.
Because when it's warm and we're still having days of 90, I can't sit in a tree with mosquitoes in the south in 90-degree weather. So I'm going to be prepared some food plots in some of the spots that I'm hunting and I'm going to be hanging some ladders. I say ladders; these are lock-on steps, so that I can climb and tether hunt.
Right.
Last year I got a buck the second day of opening season of bow, which starts actually, I think. The season's changed, so I don't want to say when the archery season is. But I will be archery hunting season by the end of this month.
So September 25th is the beginning of archery season for Tennessee. So we got looks like a couple more weeks, and then we'll be out there.
Yeah. And my friends that know me, that play golf with me, know that I put my sticks up in September, and I'll be out in the woods.
You know, you were talking about those mosquitoes. I did a velvet buck hunt a few weekends ago, and it was the most miserable experience. The bugs, the flies, the spiders, the ticks everywhere. And I think if I'm going to do a velvet buck hunt, I'm not climbing in the tree anymore. I'm going to have to be in the box stand or something.
I don't want to do any product endorsements on your show, but for your point of interest, you might want to look up a thermocell and get one of those. When I turn the thing on, I'm in the woods, mosquitoes disappear. And it's easy. I hang on the side of my stand.
Okay.
And it's not that difficult. It'll last about 10, 15 hours.
Okay.
Shit.
Good deal. Well, I'll definitely do that for the next velvet buck hunt. And, you know, another thing is the heat index that day was 102.
I know.
We were out there.
And I wasn't getting out there.
Yeah, I think I learned my lesson. So I think if I go back out, I'm going to have a fan and everything to fight off the bugs. So we'll be good to go. But
yeah.
But
hey, we get out and do some hunting this year.
Let's do it. I'm definitely available, and anytime I get to hunt, which is always fun. So get my dad out too, and maybe Billy and Rene, we can all get together and let's go get it like the olden days.
Turn on the camera and tell some stories.
Absolutely, we can absolutely do that. So let me ask you, so have you been thinking about doing any more international trips for hunting, or where would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'd like to do another bear hunt in Saskatchewan. When I retire, if I'm blessed to still have the energy, I would love to still do one more elk hunt. I did two. They were DYIs, do-it-yourself huntings. And I didn't harvest a bull, but the buddy I went up there with, we were walking down a logging road, and I had already scouted this area out, and I saw 5x5. I saw 5x5. And it was the first day, and it was getting dark, and he asked me, he said, "You going to shoot?" I said, "No, you go take it." He took this elk. It was a beautiful 5x5. He was a friend from Big Buck, actually. That night, we had 18 inches of snow come in, and the elk shut down completely.
Oh, man.
And I should have taken that shot.
Yes.
That was my only opportunity to get an elk. But I'd like to do one more elk.
That's awesome. I want to get a bull elk. I've only gotten a cow elk before, so those are delicious, man. That's some delicious meat.
They are delicious.
Yes. You got to buy a new freezer for them, though.
And caribou is delicious.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So.
But let me tell you one other thing. When we went on that bear hunt, that bear that I got, the lady that was cooking for was Inuit Indian.
Okay.
And I've heard there's an old country saying, nothing sweeter than bear meat. Bear, and your dad can probably attest to this because he ate some of it. It was the best meat. It was sweeter than roast meat. It was the best meat I tasted. And I'd like to do another bear hunt. And they believe mosquitoes are down on the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
That bear hunt, man, I've never tried bear. I think I'd be willing to try it though. I think I'd be willing to try it.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
I would, if I had the choice between a bear and venison, and I had a well-stocked freezer, I'd go ahead and do a bear roast. It was delicious.
Oh, man. Well, that is awesome. So do you have a deer or one that got away? I have one that got away.
Oh, gosh. You don't have a program long enough. And I'm talking about deer that I thought I put a good shot on.
Right.
And there have been a lot that I just absolutely missed. And, and you always blame something else. And you say the gun was off or wind blew or, any excuse. But, everybody had, if they've hunted, they've had situations where they missed.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I have one that got away, and when I'm telling that story about the one that got away, best believe he was that big.
Oh wow!
But he really
Those are the ones that hurt. Yeah,
those are the ones that hurt. That was the largest deer I've ever seen on the land where we hunt, and I think I went right above his back because I set my scope wrong. My scope was
wow. Where were you hunting? Tennessee?
Yep, Fayette County.
Yeah.
Yep. So
in 2009, I was hunting a big buck, and there was a 150-inch deer that I had seen but not gotten shot on. I took my son down in Nile, put him on the field, and I was in the woods near a creek. I heard the deer coming down off of a ridge, getting across the creek because the sun was starting to set, and they were staging up to go toward the field. This deer was standing in the creek, literally probably 35, 40 yards from me. Put a good shot on him, jumped up, went on the opposite side bank, and I knew I'd hit him. So it's getting dark, I'm ready to come down, and I went over and accidentally jumped him up. I thought I'd killed him, but he was still alive. That deer crossed our property and went and he hit water going onto an adjacent club's property.
Oh wow!
So I slipped out that night, and I was going to come back in that morning. Came back in that morning, couldn't pick up a blood trail going across this water. It was only about 6 inches, but it was flooded down. That same deer was in the local rag hunting magazine. Guy had said he killed it. It was on the property that was adjacent to us, and he killed it on December 26th, the same day that I shot this buck. He said he could have killed it that, and I know it was the same deer. So you talk about one that got away. I was really upset about that because this guy, and he heard a shoot, and where he said he got it was adjacent to our property. So,
oh man!
Yeah, I've got a lot of stories, but that one hurt me the most. So.
That is so dirty. That is so dirty. Like, I think if that happened with me, I would have given the deer back. I would have given the deer back. I mean,
yeah, it was a place called Mill Pond. We had a good relationship with the other hunters there. I don't know this particular guy. They put his name in the paper, but I didn't even bother to ask him. I figured he wasn't going to fess up to it and wasn't needing to pursue him. And since the deer had gone off the property, I would have had to ask them back to track the deer on their property. And frankly, I lost the trail through the waters.
I bet he has.
Be that as it may, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But I bet he has an outrageous story about how he hunted that deer. He probably took a 600-yard shot.
Yeah, and they posted a picture of that deer, and that's how I knew it was the same deer. Because I had seen him several times before in the field, but I never got a shot on him. And when they posted the picture, I knew that was the same deer. I still have that article where they had posted that deer in the paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is absolutely terrible. So, what other areas in the tri-state area have you hunted? Have you hunted Arkansas recently, or I know you've hunted Mississippi, of course, with Big Buck and everything. But I
haven't. Yeah, I haven't hunted Arkansas recently. Your father and I were in a club in Arkansas down in Locust Bayou called. What was the name of it? Anyway, it was a club down there.
With Mark and George. With Mark and George and those guys.
Yeah, with Mark, George. The other brother was Michael.
Yeah.
Of course, Mark was the one that got killed.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was not related to hunting, but nonetheless, yeah. That was the last place I hunted with them.
Yeah.
Was I guess that was last time we were down there was like 2004, 2005. Joe Brown was in the same club. I hunt Arkansas. I've done a lot of rabbit hunting in Arkansas. I hunted Mississippi, as you know.
Right, of
and
course.
All over Tennessee. I hunted Illinois. The other states, I'd like to do Indiana. I'd like to do some of the Midwest states, Missouri, Iowa. And hopefully in the next few years, when I have the opportunity to retire, hunting is going to be at the top of my travel agenda.
That is awesome, and that is how you do it. Well, Judge, I thank you so much for joining me this evening. Is there?
Well, thank you for having me.
Is there anything you would like to leave us with before you go?
For those of you who have an appreciation for the outdoors, you're active, and if you haven't started hunting, you want to take it up. It's an excellent pursuit, an excellent hobby, and you'll never meet a bad person if you're in the woods. The people that you meet at hunting camps and just out and about, walking around telling hunting stories, and at the cafe in town where you hunt, you'll meet some really, really good people, and you'll have a great appreciation for this beautiful world that God has given us.
That is awesome. Well, my trusty wifey assistant is telling me that we have some questions on YouTube for you.
Well,
Oh, great.
Do a very last one.
My dad says that he will set up a bear hunt if you're interested.
Give me a date and I will do it. Definitely, I'm ready to go. My bags are packed.
Bags are packed. So I know my dad, he's been in Alaska. He has gotten some monsters, man. He got one of them, I think, was almost 11 feet. And one of them was hunting him. A black bear was hunting him. You and my dad, y'all two peas in the pod, man.
Oh, I saw, Guns and Ammo, the gun shop here, has pictures of him with his black bear and that large brown bear that he shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
My pocket wasn't deep enough to go on that hunt with him.
Yeah, well, he loves bear hunting, man. That's at the top of his list as well. So I think I'll have to try it out one day. I'll definitely have to try it out, but I think I want to try it out like you. I think I want to try it with archery. I think I want to try it with archery.
Don't get me wrong. I had my break action 35 in the tree with me. I wasn't taking any chances.
I don't blame you. I think I'll have
35.
Yeah, I think I'll have some backup as well. I've seen too many videos of hunters getting attacked, and I can't let that be me. and I know you're not gonna let that be you either.
They had one year we went. They had a guy who was archery hunting, and when the guide went out to get him, the guy was still in the tree, but he was shaking. His quiver was empty. He had I think 8 or 9 arrows in his quiver. He had shot all of them, missed this bear, and he was scared to death. When he came down, he packed his bags and left.
Wow.
And didn't finish his hunt. Yeah, he was just that afraid of the bear.
Yeah, I'm sure he never hunted again probably after that.
No, not with his bow anyway, I'm sure.
I mean, how do you miss 9 times?
Shaking. You talking about buck fever? He had bear fever.
Man, that's hard to do. It's hard to miss 9 times. But
I don't know. I know some people that have emptied the clip and reloaded and missed again. I'm not calling Joe Brown's. Oh yeah, I did call his name.
That actually makes sense. I try only to do one shot. If I'm rifle hunting, and try to put it down as smoothly and easily as possible. But I'm thinking about.
And the ethical thing, as you know, and your father, I'm sure, trained you in this. You make sure that your gun is on every time you go into the field. Pre-season, you go ahead and set it, and then you might want to check it in the middle of the season just to see if it's been knocked off or anything, because you want to hunt ethically. You want to make sure that you put the animal down humanely. And
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things I emphasize. I have friends that come over to my house, and I've got some acreage behind me, and we make sure that our guns are on every season before we go out. I just want to stress that to those of you, and I'm sure as an ethical hunter, most of them know that.
Absolutely, you want to make sure they're on. And actually, I'm going this weekend. I bought my wife a rifle. She likes to deer hunt as well, so we're going to sight that in. And I'm also going to check and just make sure mine is dialed in, because I love 308. So I bought her a 308, but with the 18-inch barrel. So hopefully, because she was holding mine, she looked like Elmer Fudd, kind of doing all this with mine. So I had to get her something that can fit her arm. So we're gonna see how she does.
That's good. It's good to have a companion that enjoys the hobbies that you have. Hunting is a beautiful way for a family to raise, especially when you all have kids coming along. And, she'll be able to participate and enjoy the woods with you.
Absolutely. So we definitely enjoy it. We enjoy it, and she is happy. She's looking forward to getting her first book. So we're gonna try to do that this year. We're gonna try to do it this year, and I'm gonna try to put her on top of them. And talking about sleeping in the deer stand, speaking of.
Okay.
We're gonna have to work with on that. We're gonna have to work with her wilderness awareness on the falling asleep and snoring in the deer stand. But I love it. I love you, babe. We're gonna get it together.
I hope you have blankets and a couch available.
Not in the deer stand. We don't have the blankets and the couch yet, but she actually turned me into
a personal. I meant in case you get kicked out of the bed.
No, man, I think I'm gonna be cool. But she is actually turned into a good little hunter, and I know she's gonna enjoy it this year, and we gonna set her up with a good buck so she can get it going.
Good
deal. Well, I definitely thank you again, and I'm looking forward to hunting with you again. It's always fun when we link up. It's been too long. I think the last hunt I was with you on was in Arkansas, actually. At the land
Oh,
we
really?
were talking
Okay.
about. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
333. That was the name of the camp.
Triple Three. That is right.
Yeah.
And that was where? In Conway? Was that in Conway?
It was past Conway. Conway
Okay.
is actually where Bear Bryant was from. It's in a place called Locust Bayou.
Locust
I
Bayou.
can't remember the town that was very close to it, but yeah. We were in that camp, oh gosh, about 4 or 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And we ate good down there.
We did.
We ate real good down there.
Man, George
Yeah.
can cook. George can cook.
Yeah.
I'm still
yeah.
using his slaw recipe to this day with the rinse that he put in the rinse packets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That man can cook.
I still keep in contact with George. You know, his church has a banquet, a wild game banquet every year.
Yep.
In March of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make sure we get in contact with you all, get you out there this year.
Yeah, I've been out there before, and it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. We brought some venison as well, but man, George is a great guy and a great cook. I remember those sausage biscuits with the white gravy, and it's tough.
Yeah.
People don't realize how hard it is to go deer hunting after you eat one of George's breakfasts.
Yeah, right.
Like you want to go lay down.
Yeah, well, we had big breakfasts down at Big Buck too, and then in the evening, you know, Sam and what was it, Kelly would have a pot of beans, some neck bones, and some baked sweet potatoes in the oven. And man, you talk about getting full. Oh, that was a great time. Great time.
Now that is how you deer camp.
Yeah, exactly.
That is how you deer camp. Well, Judge, I just thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been a true pleasure and honor to have you on my platform, and I can't wait to hunt with you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to talking to you again on your program.
All right, Judge, you have a good one.
All right. Give my love to the family.
I absolutely will do, and you do the same.
Take care.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, I absolutely love that man. Judge Tarik Sugarmon. He is the man, as y'all see. He has great stories, and we could have been going literally all night and just talking about stuff. A true hunting legend. And I don't know about that saddle. I dropped some weight, but I don't know. Me hanging out the tree in the saddle, I don't know how that'll go. But guys, it's that time of the show again. It's the time where we start going over our news, y'all. And I have some pretty interesting stuff going on. And it's important to know that, this show, I try to bring enlightenment to what's going on outside of Memphis, Tennessee, and outside of, the tri-state area, even outside of the United States. Because we as a world and as a human race, we are one people, and we only have one earth. We only have one earth, and we have to take care of it. I'm not going to hop on my soapbox, but I believe that in being a conservationist, I believe that I want deer to be around for my grandkids one day. I want rhinos to still roam the earth. I want certain things. And speaking of rhinos, I'm going to bring you up to our first article of the evening. And y'all, check this out.
And the award goes to a science experiment that hung 12 tranquilized black rhinos upside down from a crane for 10 minutes. That's right, you heard correctly. They are known as the Ig Nobel Awards, not quite as well known as the real Nobel Prizes. The Science Humor magazine, Improbable Research, says the Ig Nobel Awards should first make you laugh and then make you think. And this year's winner probably does exactly that. Suspending rhinos from their feet from helicopters is a method increasingly used in African conservation to shift rhinos to different locations, either for their protection or to ensure genetic diversity.
It's crazy they have to do all that just to protect rhinos.
Cornell University and Namibia's Ministry of Environment, nobody had ever checked to see if the health of the tranquilized animal was compromised when flying upside down. Black rhinos are critically endangered due to rising demand for rhino horn under the mistaken belief it has medicinal qualities. It's estimated that at least one rhino is killed every single day.
That's terrible.
There are currently only around 5,500 black rhino left. Their numbers have been decimated by poaching. And it turns out the rhinos coped very well hanging upside down. In fact, They did better in this unusual position than simply lying on their side or chest. Some others spoof or walk.
Yo, so that's actually pretty crazy. Like, the rhinos hanging upside down, it's a shame that people have to go through so much drastic measures just to save these animals. A helicopter, y'all, flying a rhino, like, I would literally, like, be laughing if I saw a flying rhino. But they have to do what they have to do to save those animals, guys. And, you know, it's just something to be mindful of. And you know, hunting, you know, I believe in eating what I hunt. That's one thing I believe in. So you won't hear me talking about hunting lions or anything like that because I don't eat lions. But you will hear me talk about venison. You will hear me talk about bears because I think I want to try it. And if I don't eat it, I'm sure I will give the animal to someone who will eat it. You know, like you heard my dad on last week's episode talk about Hunters for the Hungry, and Judge Sugarmon talk about it as well, Hunters for the Hungry. So, you know, we strongly believe in, you know, being ethical people and keeping this lifestyle around and not just, you know, killing animals for the sake of killing animals, guys. Like, we don't do that. So that's not our way. But here's my next story. Y'all, do you know that there is actually no way to predict or tell how many hunters there are in the United States? They have no idea how many hunters there are in the United States. And the reason that is because people buy lifetime licenses. So my nephews, Zachary and Jonathan, when they were born, they got a lifetime license. So that means when they were born, the year they were born, that was the year that they were registered as a hunter. But the rest of their lives, they'll never be registered as a hunter for that year going forward. So it's no way to tell how many lifetime hunters there are. So when I look at the percentages, it's like, okay, how can you really truthfully tell that these numbers are true? Because what they're saying is that only 1% of hunters in America are black. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that because I know a lot of guys that buy these lifetime hunting licenses and just get it out the way. So it's no way to tell. So, man, I say that there are a lot of hunters, but actually we need more. We need more hunters in West Tennessee because the only way that we can get rid of this CWD is if we harvest the animals like the state tells us to. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But we actually have to do something about this because every deer that we hunt, we send to get tested. Before we eat the meat, we send it to the state to get tested for CWD. And believe it or not, we have gotten some results come back. And actually, it was one deer I could think of that we cut open, and it was yellow, so we knew that it was infected. But every single deer that we harvest is sent off to the state of Tennessee, to the TWRA. It's analyzed, and when they give us the okay, then we go forth with processing that deer. And shout out to Dave. Dave is the man. Dave is our deer processor here in West Tennessee. But Dave does an awesome job at his shop with processing the meat, sending off the samples to the state, and keeping us updated about the status of the meat. So shout out Dave, you the man. He been the deer processor, our deer processor for about 10 years. So big shout out to Dave. And more news from the TWRA. And guys, I'm talking about Tennessee because I'm in Tennessee, West Tennessee, Memphis. That's where we are. And shout out to the Memphis Tigers. Big game against Mississippi State this weekend. We gonna beat that cowbell up out of them. Let's get it, Memphis. But the TWRA is confirming no mysterious songbird deaths in Tennessee. So apparently these songbirds have just been falling out of the sky all over the East Coast. But in Memphis, you know, or in Tennessee and whole, that hasn't happened. But just a good reminder, if y'all just run into a random bird with bird flu and everything, make sure you have on gloves before you pick up any kind of bird that's dead, because you just never know. You never know what can happen. All right. On to some more news about, speaking of wildlife and what's going on in the world. Check this out.
The Caldor fire has been burning since mid-August, and over the past few days, it has been bearing down on South Lake Tahoe. Evacuation orders are now in place for the popular resort town. News 8's Sean Stiles has the latest on conditions there and how the fire is affecting the people and the wildlife.
The Caldor fire has burned over 200,000 acres of forest, but overnight weather patterns did change, helping the nearly 4,000 firefighters that are battling this wildfire. The streets of South Lake Tahoe were empty this morning under the evacuation notice
California,
from the Caldor
guys.
fire, with the exception of firefighters. In Christmas Valley, wildlife was running for its life as this bear was moving fast.
They trying to get out of there. They got to escape too.
We can't believe what our eyes are showing us. That the devastation and the speed at which fire comes through, and the fact that these animals, are running for their lives.
The Wildlife Care Center was able to move its animals out ahead of the flames.
So now they're all in great hands, and they're protected, and now our staff and volunteers can now go and take care of their own homes that are in, danger areas. So animals came first for us.
To help firefighters, the Heavenly Valley Ski Resort had its snow guns on.
It'll help a lot. It's spreading water.
They're doing
out.
everything to fight this thing, guys.
The humidity level. It's getting everything wet. So if we do have any kind of spots in here, it's able to slow it down so we can get folks in it.
The Kirkwood Ski Resort was also of concern.
One of our major concerns was this Kirkwood Bowl area, where the Kirkwood ski area is. The fire is currently hung up right on the ridge outside of Kirkwood, so that's something we'll be looking at today as one of our priorities.
All those acres, guys.
Military aircraft at 18,000 feet is sending back infrared images like these to guide firefighters to hot spots hidden in the thick smoke.
Very, very sensitive sensors can pick up any signature of heat. We'll plot it. We'll get that down.
Shout out to the military for the help.
While conditions have improved and there's about a 20% containment, firefighters know battling the Caldor fire is all about the long game.
Man, y'all, that Caldor fire is real. And the sad thing is people have died, people have lost homes, people have lost pretty much everything. And then you seeing what it's just doing to the wildlife. And that's what I mean about conservationism, y'all. Like, we have to take care of this planet. Like, it's fires going everywhere. And we have to be better citizens of this planet. If we want it to last for generations, we have to take care of it. And that's one thing I strongly believe in. I'm going to keep going to my different stories, but...
that sign there and try to think more fast into better days.
Sorry, guys, but as y'all can see, let me pull this back. It's not just America. It's Italy. It's Russia. It's literally going on everywhere, guys. Like, I'm not going to make y'all sit through this whole thing. But Sicily, Italy, man. Like, we have to take care of it. And think of all the wildlife. Just think of all the wildlife that we're losing to this thing. Greece, everywhere. So, I guess I was showing y'all this to just say, be mindful of y'all surroundings. Those of you all who smoke or who do everything, like when it's dry, man, y'all, we have to protect this planet. Just like you protect your home, like you would protect your house, we have to protect this planet. And that's why, like, I'm an anti-litter guy or whatever, it is what it is. Y'all ain't gonna put me though. But I'm an anti-litter guy, and I'm an anti, destroying and killing stuff just for the sake of killing it. Man, I don't get down like that. And actually, one of my biggest beefs I ever had was somebody, just shooting deer to maim. And that's not cool. And we don't get down like that. We're ethical hunters over here with Brotherz Outdoorz, and we believe strongly in taking care of God's earth. Moving on. But anyway, back to the CWD news for Tennessee, guys. So they found a CWD positive deer in Henry County. So with that, we have more areas in Tennessee with CWD. But the cool thing about it, big shout out to the TWRA, y'all coming in clutch, because y'all took three. We used to have 3 buck tags a year. All my life, we had 3 buck tags a year, and then we could and we could harvest 3 does a day. Well, they took 1 buck tag away, so they gave us 2 buck tags. But with the CWD management program, if you harvest 2 does, they'll give you an extra buck tag. So my personal goal for this year is I want to do 8 year, because we have to put a dent into this population, guys. And the only way that you kill CWD and get rid of CWD is we need more hunters harvesting these deer because the deer population has gone crazy. Like, I don't know what's happened, but it's deer everywhere. Like, I was driving to work downtown Memphis and you see deer. Like, it's deer everywhere. You will see deer in Raleigh and Memphis. You see deer literally everywhere. And I remember as a boy, we didn't see deer that much because I guess more hunters hunted like that. But guys, we have to put a dent into the CWD. But the state of Tennessee, they have the Earn a Buck program. So Tennessee antler deer bag limit is 2, did not change. Therefore, it still applies to hunters hunting unit CWD. But unit CWD hunters may earn an unlimited number of antlered deer for harvest in unit CWD, in addition to the statewide antler deer bag limit of 2. Unlimited bucks that y'all want to get. An additional antler deer is earned for every 2 antlerless deer harvested in unit CWD and submitted for CWD testing. So that's the key. You have to submit these deer for testing, and that's the only way the state can get you your extra tag. So again, shout out to Dave. But you know what I'm saying? You have to do this thing the right way. So my personal goal this year, I don't know if I want to tell you that. I may say that for an episode. I may say that one for an episode. I'm not going to, tip my hand just yet. But I'm about to get on it this year. This year, we're looking at having a really successful deer season. I got my partner in crime and my wifey. She going to be out there deer hunting. Of course, my dad, my brothers, we're going to be out there doing it as always. But also, I mentioned this to Judge Sugarmon, but I just wanted to kind of break it down. I know y'all probably can't see this, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit. But archery season is September 25th through October 29th, and November 1st through November 5th. They break it down like that because one weekend they're going to have the Youth Sportsman Weekend, and that's on October 30th to 31st. So they don't want y'all Elmer Fuzz out in the woods while the children is trying to hunt. So we need to be out there with the kids hunting instead of y'all trying to be out there that weekend. But after that weekend, we can get back in the woods and do our thing. And also, unit CWD, we do not have a muzzleloader season this year. We do not have a muzzleloader season. I know that may sound crazy to some, but we are pretty much going from bow season to rifle season, and we're getting a 2-week head start on the rest of the state. So we actually start rifle season on November 6th. Saturday, November 6th, I will be in the woods, and that is going to go on until January 2nd, 2022, they're saying for now. But of course, as Judge Sugarmon mentioned, that can easily change. If they say that we didn't do a good job enough as a state in harvesting these deer, they will extend the hunt. So that is pretty cool. But y'all, check out this kid. This kid, y'all. Matt Belize made the most of a guided bow hunt in Utah when he took this incredible muley deer. This is a mule deer, guys. Look at this thing. A high school kid with a bow. He will always remember that thing, and that thing has velvet. I just thought that was an amazing wreck, and I had to show it to you guys. Any questions for me? No questions? If y'all have any questions, please write them in the YouTube comment section. And my trusty wifely assistant, she will let me know those comments so I can respond to you guys. All right. So, in typical Chris fashion, I would like to show y'all something that I'm into. And I love hunting bloopers because I'm not an idiot, but sometimes I enjoy seeing idiots in the woods because it makes my heart smile and it makes me laugh. So check this out, guys. Why not take the shot? Okay, he took the shot, but he missed. Well, that pig ain't playing. There's a bird. What the? Oh, that's a turkey. What the? See, that's that stuff I'm talking about. Just completely dumb. Dumb, why? On country.
No, that was a deer. What's up, buddy? Come on.
That was not a smart decision. Oh yeah, this the guy. Won't shoot. 50 caliber pistol, won't shoot. Look at this, y'all. Look at it. Look at this. It's right on him. Oh, that wasn't a pistol. That was a rifle. Look at that. Oh, look at this idiot. He deserved every bit of it. You deserve that, sir.
I don't know, maybe 20, 25 feet up in the air.
Oh, this ain't good. I see. Oh! Took the quick way down.
You all right?
We're going to show you some gun control.
Gun safety.
Whoa, whoa. Now, these aren't loaded. We just got them out of the box.
Never trust a man with glasses like that talking about gun safety. Words to live by.
These are 2 old 38 specials.
And the t-shirt's definitely giving away.
They got some weight to them, and they're a lot of fun. They're
Trucker hats, don't trust it.
22, which makes it, like I said, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple
We're shooting cans, bottles, clay pigeons.
We got
no living animals though.
Never. We've got a couple targets set up. And I was just telling Chris, we're a little worried because if I miss or if I hit him, I'm afraid I'll hit something at the house. And he was saying
he will be
okay
named Chris.
There's some brick behind it. And because these are lower caliber, they should be fine.
Ricochet. Yeah, there's actually ivy growing that would actually stop the ricochet from even happening.
So we're not too worried. But it is a little windy out. And the cans keep falling down.
Yeah, so you want to have hearing protection, you want to have safety glasses.
I think I see where this is going, guys.
Yeah, jeans and cowboy boots.
Chaps, if you have them.
Yeah, take a lot of safety precautions. Gloves, leather gloves.
Leather gloves, safety precautions.
Got one
Oh yeah.
Now we've got
y'all
the
see
hammer,
where this is going.
Like a basic hammer action. Now, normally you wouldn't do this, but because
Saw that one coming.
I can hear it. Oh my God, dude.
Y'all gonna learn about playing with Porky the Pig. You don't play with Porky the Pig. Sir, you have the gun. All right, guys. I think sometimes you got to remind people that, dude, you have the weapon. Like, why are you running? And shout out to my mom. My mama don't run, that's for sure. But y'all, this has been a phenomenal show. I've really enjoyed it. Big shout out to Judge Tarik Sugarmon. He is an awesome guy. We're glad to have him on the show. We're gonna have to have him and my dad. We're going to have a joint episode with him and my dad. I think that would actually be legendary to have them just going back and forth. I think that'll be pretty cool. But y'all, this has been phenomenal. Subscribe to the channel, guys. As you know, I'm trying to push this platform forward. Subscribe to Brotherz Outdoorz on YouTube. And also feel free to donate. I know y'all see this scrolling on the bottom of the screen, because it's been scrolling the whole time. But Cash App, $, Brotherz Outdoorz. I don't care if it's $1. Donate to the cause, y'all. The deer season's coming up, and we want to keep bringing y'all this content, so support the show. And you know what? The barbecue rub, y'all. It's like really good. I'm getting closer to the production of this thing. Shout out to Dr. Wallace. We gonna get this thing cracking. But man, this is really some good stuff. My mom put in some turnip greens, y'all. And let me tell you, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It had a bit of a bite, but it was some good stuff. I think y'all gonna actually enjoy that. But in the end, Brotherz Outdoorz, I will be back. You will have a new episode on Monday. Just to give you a little heads up, I will be in St. Louis, Missouri on this episode, and I will be trying out some barbecue. You know, I'm a barbecue fanatic, but I got my own barbecue rub, the Brotherz Outdoorz Memphis Barbecue Rub. May need to change that to all-purpose season. I'm still thinking about that. It's kind of a family discussion at this point. What we gonna call this thing? So we're trying to figure it out because it goes well on everything. But on this episode, you're gonna see me in St. Louis, Missouri, and you're also gonna see me fishing in the lightning storm. So that should be a pretty cool episode. So I hope you guys like that. That will be dropping on Monday morning at 6 a.m. on YouTube. So at that. We about to roll up out of here, guys. It has been a good day. We are at Friday's Eve. I hope you all have a great weekend. All my hunters, get ready for a hunting season. Get your stands out. Get everything ready. And just shout out, man. Shout out to all you guys. Everybody who supported my show, supporting Brotherz Outdoorz. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Keep on supporting. We're going to keep on bringing y'all this content. Got a special guest next week. I'm going to say that. I'm announcing on Facebook later. But guys, shout out to y'all. Y'all the truth. Shout out to my mom, my dad. Shout out Ty, Renee, Billy, Danielle, Zachary. Shout out to the wifey. Yay. Yeah, she my trusty assistant. Shout out to my boys Jimmy, Tony. Shout out to Tim Garfield and the Garfield family. What's up, y'all? Y'all my people, man. Warren Cotton, Dave, the Deer Man. We gonna be seeing you soon, Dave. Can't wait to see you, man. And man, shout out to the Noobs, man. Kappa Alpha Psi. What up, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo. And man, shout out to Memphis Tigers. We playing Mississippi State this weekend, y'all. We got to get it football. Shout out to the new Penny Hardaway. #1 recruiting class in the nation, man. Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee. That's what I'm talking about. And man, shout out to the Brotherz, the Munger, and the Flag families, man. What up, y'all? And y'all, let's get it, man. Let's have a successful deer season, man. Let's enjoy this thing. And let's be safe out here, man. No hunting accidents. And let's put a dent in the CWD, man, so we can get Tennessee back the way it was. West Tennessee. We don't need sick there in these streets, man. So, shout out to y'all, man. I'm out. Yep. Oh, I took this picture too, y'all. This is a sunrise at Pickwick. I love fishing. Y'all gonna hear me talking about some fishing more. I love the fish. I took that at Pickwick on the sunrise. Beautiful. But anyway, y'all be out. Brotherz Outdoorz, we out. Peace.